Welcome back, everybody. We are on episode 53 of Keeping It Real. We're going to start this one off with a reading. This is... Do I even need to explain what this is, or should I just read it? Blank blank with a... This person has a PhD, HSP-P, and is a licensed psychologist. On April 28th, 2021, it is written, Dear Blank, I saw jackkadis, me, for neuropsychological testing in March of 2021. The following points are highlights from my testing. 1. Jack has a strong cognitive profile, with a full-scale IQ score of 128 on the WAIS-IV. Pardon me, let me record what time it is. 12:13, so at 1:14. All right. Where was I? Jack has a strong cognitive profile with a full-scale IQ score of 128 on the WAIS-IV. Processing speed was an area of personal weakness, with his score falling solidly average. Skills in reading, writing, and math were largely commensurate, with some mild disfluency noted. Direct testing of executive functioning was average or above. Despite overall strong performance in all areas of testing, there were some intra-domain inconsistencies which may be linked to underlying lapses in attention and slower processing speed. 2. Parental report on interview and on the CEFI and Connors was significant for clinical ratings of inattention, hyperactivity, executive dysfunction, and learning problems. Jack has always needed a high degree of activity to remain regulated. They reported that Jack has continually struggled with following multi-step directions and completing tasks. Conversely, when he is interested in something, he exhibits more of a laser focus and can attend for long periods of time. As a youngster, he would sit and do entire Lego sets without needing a break or becoming distracted. Mr. and Mrs. Kadis asserted that when Jack was in elementary school, they did not have overt concerns around inattention. Instead, emotional regulation seemed to be more of an issue. Jack exhibited difficulty managing his anger and was quick to incite. He was a successful student up until 10th grade. He was able to maintain solid grades with little effort. His performance declined in the 10th grade, leading him to opt to take 3 of his 5 classes as pass-fail grades. Part of his decline in grades was likely due to the fact that more weight was put on assignments than had been in the past, and his tendency to forget or miss assignments then impeded his grade. The IB program was not a good fit for him, and he moved to take a mixture of AP and honors classes. Mr. and Mrs. Kadis arranged for Jack to work with a tutor to help with ACT preparation. This was challenging for Jack, as he was unmotivated to do the supplemental work that was required for the program. He had more trouble with test completion on the ACT than he had historically with school-based tests. 3. Jack's report on interview as well as on the CEFI and Connors was not significant. He denied any difficulties, and also denied anxiety and depression. When the idea of perfectionism was introduced, Jack began to identify with symptoms, but quickly retreated. He wants to maintain the impression that he is in control and that he is without difficulty. He is highly resistant to any outside support, including psychotherapy and organizational tutoring. Jack reported that his grades could be better and that he just finds himself to be lazy at times. Jack reported that he is interested in going to college but does not have any concrete plans for such. He maintained that he would be happy going to any university, even if it was a community college. At the time of testing, he was interested in tattooing and talked about obtaining a degree in business and finance so that he would be able to set up his own business. 4. Mr. and Mrs. Kadis reported that it has been an a long-standing pattern where Jack becomes hyper-focused in one area and then lets other aspects of his life falter. He tends to give maximum effort when he is interested in something. A recent example of this involved making decisions to adopt a healthy lifestyle and exercise regularly so that he could be in the best shape possible for soccer. He was very focused on this plan and did give maximum effort to it. Once the soccer season started, however, he did not play in the first 2 games. He decided to quit the team. His reason for this was that he simply was not ready and still needed to improve. This is a specific example, but this pattern has been prevalent throughout Jack's life. He sets his mind on a specific plan, and then when there is a deviation from it, even a slight one, he retreats or abandons the idea altogether. He likely operates in a chronic fight or flight state, and then utilizes the flight mechanism more often. At the time of this evaluation, Jack was highly focused on starting a job at a car wash. He was insistent on working 7 days a week with the maximum number of hours he could. It could not be something he did a few afternoons after school. My clinical impression surrounds generalized anxiety disorder, social anxiety, and some mild ADHD. Formal personality testing was not conducted as part of this evaluation, but I can add that on if you think it would be beneficial to help with a diagnostic clarification. Please let me know if you have any questions. Now we're going to go line by line. From the top, I saw Jack Kadis for neuropsychology testing in March of 2021. The following points are highlights from my testing. I don't know. Do I want to talk about this or just want to read it? Because if I just read it, then like I let it just kind of be what it is. But if I talk about it, then it's like you get to see what I think about it. Maybe I even let off some emotion while I was reading it, and you could already tell what I thought about certain parts. I think this is some fucking bullshit. I think this is some BS. And maybe I'm not having the best day right now, to be honest with you. You wouldn't believe it at work. These 2 oblivious people walked in at 9 o'clock. We closed at 9 o'clock. And they're standing there like idiots. But I shouldn't care, though, you know? The guy even asked, like, is it okay if we sit and eat here? Which is almost implying that, like, he knew it was 9 o'clock and he was asking if it's okay if he sat there while we closed. I snapped and said, like, no, we're closed. But so what? Like, I'm sure they would have been clean. I could have just let them eat there. This is a piece of paper. Yet, like, it's really hard to read. I mean, the first line of the first point is easy. Jack has a strong cognitive profile with a full-scale IQ score of 128 on the WAIS-IV. I looked that up, and I'm like 2 points away from like extremely intelligent. 130 and above is like superior or something like that. And like, hey, that feels good. You know, like that feels like that's cool. But as we go on here, I don't like this. And I screw going line for line. This is my show and I can do whatever I want. I'm going to go straight towards straight to should I read the whole thing again? And this time when I read it, I can make comments while I read? Okay. I saw Jack Kadis for neuropsychological... Oh, jeez, man. Should I get like a glass of water or something? It's midnight. I'm super late to the party today. This is a bad scenario. This is not how you want this to go, you know? Dear Jeffrey, I saw Jack Kadis... Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that name. For neuropsychological testing in March of 2021. The following points are highlights from my testing. Jack has a strong cognitive profile with a full-scale IQ score of 128 on the WAIS-IV. Processing speed was an area of personal weakness, with his score falling to solidly average. Skills in reading, writing, and math were largely commensurate, with some mild disfluency noted. Direct testing of executive functioning was average or above. Despite overall strong performance in all areas of testing, there were some intradomain inconsistencies which may be linked to underlying lapses in attention and slower processing speed. Parental report on the CEFI in Connors was significant for clinical ratings of inattention, hyperactivity, executive dysfunction, and learning problems. Jack has always needed a high degree of activity to remain regulated. They reported that Jack has continually struggled with following multi-step directions and completing tasks. Conversely, when he is interested in something, he exhibits more of a laser focus and can attend for long periods of time. As a youngster, he would sit and do entire Lego sets without needing a break or becoming distracted. Mr. and Mrs. Kadis asserted that when Jack was in elementary school, they did not have overt concerns around inattention. Instead, emotional regulation seemed to be more of an issue. Jack exhibited difficulty managing his anger and was quick to incite. He was a successful student up until 10th grade. He was able to maintain solid grades with little effort. His performance declined in the 10th grade, leading him to opt to take 3 of his 5 classes as pass-fail grades. Part of his decline in grades was likely due to the fact that more weight was put on assignments than had been in the past, and his tendency to forget or miss assignments then impeded his grade. The IB program was not a good fit for him, and he moved to take a mixture of AP and honors classes. Mr. and Mrs. Kadis arranged for Jack to work with a tutor to help with ACT preparation. This was challenging for Jack, as he was unmotivated to do the supplemental work that was required for the program. He had more trouble with test completion on the ACT than he has had historically with school-based tests. I think I'm able to read through the second. That was all like the second. The first one is the one with the IQ thing, and she just notes about, my scores in certain areas of the whatever the WAIS-IV is. And I want to add, these tests are stupid. I don't by no means think that I actually am above average intelligence. Like, who's the average? Of what pool? It's almost like if you're tuned into the AI world at all and you're listening to the up and coming different models and companies, and you'd be familiar with benchmarks, and these benchmarks are just that. Like, they're not concrete. They're not like. Anyway, continuing. After that second bullet point read, I gotta say that I don't. Nothing jumps out at me, even though like I read past things like. Instead, emotional regulation seemed to be more of an issue. Jack exhibited difficulty managing his anger and was quick to incite. Like, I don't like reading that about myself. I don't like reading that about myself at all. But I don't stop and say anything, or like, it's not as big of a deal to me as this third bullet point is, I think, because this is all coming from parental reports on interview and on CEFI and Connors. And like, my parents are people I know and trust, so for some reason I just skip past all these words, even though I'm not sure that like he exhibits more of a laser focus and can attend for long periods of time when he is interested in something. Like, I don't think my parent like I know they're my parents, and I'm able to read past this without, but now that I'm really thinking about it, like, what is a long period of time? Because when I am interested in something, time seems to move faster. These people and this stupid, anyway, moving on to bullet point 3, this is where I really am probably going to lose my mind. Jack's report on interview as well as on the CEFI and Connors was not significant. What does not significant mean? Like, what? Isn't it me speaking? He denied any difficulties. Yeah, I did. And also denied anxiety and depression. Yeah, I did. When the idea of perfectionism was introduced, Jack began to identify with symptoms, but quickly retreated. Oh, retreated. Interesting. Interesting. I'd like to switch sides with the person, or I won't say person because it's not about the person, the people that really think that this is of value. I'd like to put them in a chair, and I'd like to start telling them that, let's see here, their report on interview was not significant. I wonder how they feel about that. Piece of shit. When the idea of perfectionism was introduced, Jack began to identify with symptoms but quickly retreated. Interesting. I wonder what it's like to sit in a chair and, just be speaking honestly about something and then have someone write things down on a notepad and look at you like you're an experiment. I wonder if maybe you'd retreat also. Like, what the fuck does that even fucking mean? He wants to maintain the impression that he is in control and that he is without difficulty. What the hell does that even mean? I want to maintain the impression that he is in control? Like, who else would be in control? Are you kidding? Like, do you think I have a fucking rat on top of my chef's hat? It's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous. He is highly resistant to any outside support, including psychotherapy and organizational tutoring. Yeah, I am. Jack reported that his grades could be better and that he just finds himself to be lazy at times. Oh, interesting. I guess that's just not significant, right? It's like, oh, let's just blow past that. Jack reported that he is interested in going to college, but does not have any concrete plans for such. He maintained that he would be happy going to any university, even if it was a community college. At the time of testing, he was interested in tattooing and talked about obtaining a degree in business and finance so that he would be able to set up his own business. I like this second half, right? The second half is like, hey, listen, I know I just spoon-fed you some absolute fucking bullshit over these first 3 sentences, but let's finish out the paragraph just like showing off that I did listen. I did listen. Oh, no, yeah, I see this guy as a person. He's a real human being. He's a person. Yeah, he's a boy. And I listened to what he had to say because I asked him questions and he answered, and yeah, I listened, and here's proof of that. I wrote it down because I listened. But oh yeah, if you refer back to the first 3 sentences I wrote, his report on interview was not significant. Yeah, he denied difficulties, and he also denied anxiety and depression. Oh, what a cute little, he just denies it. He doesn't know he has anxiety and depression. Oh, do I get anxious and sad sometimes? Oh, I didn't know that was something that okay, well actually now I'm thinking. Hold on, now I actually am thinking, because I was about to say well, when I read anxiety and depression on a form like this, look, this is a psychologist, right? So she has I actually don't know if she has the power to prescribe me prescription drugs, but anyway, carrying on. That felt good to be like that. I'm not gonna lie. That felt good to be like that. Okay. And then for number 4, it starts with Mr. and Mrs. Kadis reported. So then it's like my parents, right? So how can I be upset with my parents? But I guess I can be upset with my parents because, like, I'm allowed to be upset at anything. And it's not that I'm upset with my parents because they tried their best and they love me and all, but, like, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if I'm going to have children, but if I do, I just feel like, I just pray that, like, I don't know, man. I think what I really need to do right now is get off of my dad's money. I'm a loser. I I wouldn't be able to live here, and I have a car that he bought for me, and all this equipment I wouldn't be able to afford if he wasn't paying. I mean, he basically pays for me to eat at this point. I have a job, but I can't seem to manage my. Every time I get a check, it's gone, and I don't even think about it because it's easy not to think about it. But I really, really, really need to get away. I need to get away. I think that's why sometimes I really just want to move to New York City because then I'll be far away. It's like he doesn't like. It's like they don't really hear me. Like no one's gonna do this. No one. It's only me that can do this, right? But all they say to me is, "I want to help. I want to help. I want to help." And it's like they don't really hear me when I say, "I just don't want your money and your help." And I don't. I'm scared to say, like, I don't want to go to school because everything around me is like, that's, you have to go to school. You have to go to school. And if you don't go to school, then, like, I don't know, you're evil. So, yeah, I'm probably, earlier today I was thinking about looking up wake techs when the classes start so I can get in early and sign up for the right classes early and get the good teachers and everything. And maybe if not summer, go to the fall, get back in school. But right now I just like, fuck, man. And I had a bad day today. It's been like both a good couple days and a bad couple of days simultaneously. My head at times has been completely spinning. I found this yesterday and I was like, I'm definitely reading this on the episode. Because when I read this, like, I just feel so like, I don't know, man. Is small and inconsequential the right word? I just think that this is like, I don't know. Like, how did this happen? Like, how did I sit in front of someone like this? And how did these words get typed? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't, like, it's just three people. It's just three people. It's both my parents and someone with a PhD. Like, really? Like if things were different and I wasn't me, like I wouldn't like. It's scary, right? It's scary because this shit is scary. I don't fucking know, man. I don't. I don't like. It's all right, Like, to be honest with you, like, my dad can keep paying. Um, like it can be a very slow change where I slowly get a degree, slowly get a job, and like maybe 20 years from now, 15 years from now, I won't take his money for anything anymore. Um, like there's nothing wrong with that. Uh, there's so much. There's so much happening all the time everywhere nowadays. It feels like everywhere you look, there's a million things going on. And through it all, I'm just trying to be me. Uh, Is there anyone else out there that just is like trying to be you? Like, I love this show. I love this camera. I love this microphone because I feel like no matter what I say, no matter how I say it, you're never going to stop recording, you know? Like, you're never going to stop recording. You're never going to turn off. Like, the building's not going to lose power. The internet's not going to go out. I can say these things, and then after I say them, I can clip it, put the title in, make the title card, and it's out. Reliably, every day. You know, we haven't talked about it on this episode, on this show at all, ever. My last serious relationship. And the first time that I was with someone with the full intention of living the rest of my life with them. Obviously, I'm not in that anymore. It's been over a year now. It's been over a year. It's been over a year since it ended. And I think that with each day, I get a little bit closer to some sort of mindset or ethical framework that lets me be okay. You know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes I see guys, typically on the internet, right? Everything you see is on the fucking internet nowadays. Some stuff in person, you know, but it's whatever. It's always on the internet. I see him talk about, you know, a girl that broke up with them or a relationship that didn't work and it's been forever or whatever. And they're like, my heart was shattered, bro. I really loved her. Like, I really loved her. And I always look at that shit and scoff. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you see how stupid you look? You see how stupid you look? The grass is always greener on the other side. I identify with that sentiment. Or the grass always looks greener on the others, or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's winter, you want it to be summer, and if it's summer, you want it to be winter. I want to begin and be in a relationship with a girl so bad right now. So bad. I want it so bad. I want to find someone that I can love, right? But logically, I just know. I know that I'm capable of I'm more than capable of, like, impressing a girl. I don't know, convincing a girl that she should let me take her out, or like maybe in the right circumstances, if I get lucky, I can make her laugh. You know, like I'm capable of that. I know it. I proved it to myself. But it's like when all that stuff is said and done, I'm just left with like this person, and all of a sudden I have this responsibility. And maybe it's just because like the grass seems greener on the other side, but it, like, I don't know, it's like a crushing responsibility, or at least it was. And I'm not gonna I don't know. I don't even fucking know what I'm saying, to be honest. I feel like I'm ready. I feel like I'm ready for responsibility, you know? As stupid as you might think me saying those words are, you might be listening like, bro, didn't you just say, like, you know, you work full time at a job and like you still get money from your parents? Didn't you just say like didn't you just tweak out over a letter that was written 4 years ago? That's like just someone doing their job and like you freaking out about it? Like, didn't you just bring up your ex? Like, what? Like, you think you're ready, bro? Yeah, I do. Go fuck yourself. I do think I'm ready. You don't fucking know me. I know me. And I'm good, bro. I'm hella good. Maybe you should worry about you. My phone doesn't ring or ding ever. I'm in one of those points, you know? Sometimes I look at my phone and I'm just like, damn. This shit does not like... Nobody texts me. Nobody calls me. And it's like, that's so silly to say. Because, like, I don't text people. I don't call people. Like, once again, when I see someone saying, like, oh, dude, my phone is so dry, man. I don't ever get, like, nothing, you know? I'm always like... okay. Like, you probably never text anybody. And I don't. I never text anybody. I'm like, I guess you could say I'm a mess right now. I'm not entertaining. I'm not, well, I mean, I might be, but I'm not like trying to entertain. I'm not trying to be positive. I'm not trying to be, I'm just trying to be myself. And I feel like, I don't even know what I was going to say there. I just want to end it on that. I'm just trying to be myself. I'm just trying to be myself. A lot of you motherfuckers are trying to be somebody you're not. And that's cool and all, because, like, that's you at the end of the day. Like, I might say that, but that's you being yourself. You as yourself want to be this. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Maybe I should want to be like someone, you know? Maybe I should want to be like somebody, straight up. Maybe if I wanted to be like something, then, like, I would be. But I do. You understand? I do. I want to be somebody where this entire wall behind me is covered in title cards for Keeping It Real, episode 48 through fucking 300. But, you know, when I read some shit like this, when I read some shit like fucking... Conversely, when he's interested in something, he exhibits more of a laser focus and can attend for long periods of time. As a youngster, he would sit and do entire Lego sets without needing a break or becoming distracted. That makes me feel like some fucking science experiment, dude. Where, like this whole time, like, no one was like, bro, like, that makes me feel like people are watching me do this, and they're watching me do this shit on the wall, and they watch it fill up, and they're kind of just thinking like, wonder if I actually keep doing it, or like, if this is just another one of those things he'll stop fucking doing. And it's like, dude, I get it. You know, I get it. Because the reason these words were wrote, it's the two, like, it's not like I don't believe that they love me, you know, that those words are written out of love. And, like, if it feels like I'm a science experiment, it's because, like, that's just the way that they tried their hardest to love me, and that's just kind of the way that it turned out to feel. Like, that's not, like, it's not anybody's fault, you know? But it's like, damn, dude, if it doesn't make me do some crazy shit sometimes, it's like, oh, word? Like, I'm just like a data set. Like, I'm just a bunch of numbers on a page. Let me fucking, like, get blackout drunk and climb to a crane and hang off the edge, you know? See if I make it down. It's like, I'm not, like, bro, I'm not going up there to kill myself or nothing. I love being alive. It's the dopest thing ever. If I wasn't, then I just wouldn't be, and that's terrifying. Like, I would never, but, like, dude, let me just fucking, like, feel some shit, you know? Let me go up there and like fucking be on a tall structure. It sways in the wind. I'm hammered. Let me stand up and like feel the wind. Like, how does that look on your data sheet? Like, that should only happen because I wanted it to happen, you know? And now it's like, oh, word, I'm just a bunch of numbers on a page. Like, I'm just a little science experiment. All right, let me detach myself from you entirely. Let me stop taking money. I don't want any of your goddamn money. I got a job. You didn't get it for me. I mean, I'll have to live the rest of my life with the simple fact that, like, I wouldn't be the person I am if it weren't for you and the way you raised me. But it's like, let me just begin to be alone. Like, when is that going to begin? Never? You know what? The sad truth is they're going to die and I'm still going to be alive. So, and if that day has came, Jack, and you're listening to you say these words right now, I bet you hate me. I bet you look at me right now and you want to punch me through the screen. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. That's why I do my best. I promise you I do my best to cling to the words of, like, it's love. They love me more than anything. They've said it to me and they mean it. They mean it. They mean it. But, I don't know, man. In times like these, I just want to push everybody far away. I do. You know, lately I'll get in this kind of sad. I'll get to this sort of thinking, and immediately I'll just remind myself, like, it's been September, October, November, December, January, February, coming up on a year and a half since I smoked weed. And I got a message for you if you're out there smoking weed every day, because I know you're out there. I know hella people that smoke weed every day. Hella people. It's very normalized within certain groups and such. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with smoking weed every day. Seriously. Like, I am not going to look at the camera and tell you to quit. Like, if you're smoking weed every day, cool, man. Like, I bet it's dope. Like, seriously. Like, lately I've been binging fast food every fucking day, and, like, that's just, like, the highlight of my goddamn day. I shove a bunch of fast food down my throat, and, like, everything's okay. These past 3 days I relapsed on soda, you know? I just be drinking soda, and it's, like, awesome. I just chug soda, and, like, everything's okay. Everything's fucking okay. And that's so dope, because, like, I don't have the ability, the human ability, to drink soda every second of every. I can't IV soda. I can't always feel like, and even if I do drink soda every day, whatever, I'll just level out, you know? And, like, it's those 2 to 3 water-sized cups of soda every day that's like, damn, this shit tastes amazing, and afterwards I just feel, like, totally empty again. Like, I have permission to, like, think my own fucking thoughts. And, bro, I know you motherfuckers out there, like, look forward to that drink on the weekends. That they call it the pocket, you know? 2 beers and, like, bro, everything melts away. Like, you worked hard this week. It's the fucking weekend. Like, damn, if that shit don't taste good. Michelob Ultra, like, fuck. So don't, I mean, it's like, like, is it because I'm older now that I no longer have, like, the curiosity required to obtain the motivation to, like, stop the junk food and the soda? I don't fucking know, man. Like, what did I even just say? Like, what did I even just say? Like, was it going anywhere? I don't know, because now I'm here. This has been a hell of an episode. A hell of a fucking episode. I stopped myself talking about my ex-girlfriend that like I was ready to spend the rest of my life with because like I don't want to. I don't want to talk about it. I like over all this time, over this year. I mean, it's February 19th. It's literally like coming up to the year on the day where like she let me know that she wanted to break up. She said, I think we should break up. She was sobbing, crying. And this has all happened to me before. It went down the exact same way as it did when I was 13 years old, except like it was just more efficient. Like it just was shorter. Like fuck me, man. And like she's sobbing, crying. And I'm just like, I felt nothing. I felt absolutely nothing. And I'm looking at her crying. And I just decided like, this is like the third time that she's brought up breaking up, and like I think I should just let her leave me, you know? Like so I did. I fucking did. It's like now when I'm looking around and I'm saying like I want a girlfriend, I want to love somebody, I want to be in love. In the back of my head constantly is like I'm not gonna fuck up again. I'm not gonna fuck up. But what I was grappling with that whole time that I was with this girl, it was like, is that really fair to do to myself? Like, is it even on me? Like, is that even me letting her go? Like, ugh. Because I don't know, you see some shit online, right? Maybe. And it's this guy that's like working out or whatever. And the caption is like, working out because I will never be in the spot ever again where I beg her to stay. And I read that shit and I'm like, damn, yeah, fuck yeah. But like, bro, in context of what? Like, that guy is nothing like me. I don't fucking know that guy. And like, what do those words even mean? If I were to say them, what would they even mean? Do I just say hell yeah because I'm reading someone else say them and I like to think it's me? Because I wouldn't say those words. Working out because I'll never like beg someone to stay with me ever again. Like, do I have to have a lot of money? Like, do I? Like, no, I don't have to have a lot of money. I don't. That's like not being a YouTuber and saying like, oh, to be a YouTuber, you have to have a lot of connections. That ain't true, brother. Look at me. I am one. You understand me? You want to be? Then be. So what's the disconnect? I want to be in love. So why am I not in love? Why do I keep telling myself, oh, I really feel like it's right around the corner. Oh, it's January now? Okay, I feel like maybe in February. Like, oh, it's February now? I feel like maybe in March. Like, what's my fucking deal? You know? What is my fucking deal? You know, I got a girl to break up with her boyfriend. And then I just left her alone. Now she's back with that fucking guy. I had him texting me. I didn't respond. I don't want anything to do with you, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Your bitch loves me. I'm sorry. I think I'm awesome, dude. So, like, why hasn't a girl seen it yet? You know, I think there is one that might see that I'm awesome, right? She sees me through my online. She sees me online. We exchange like 4 words through Instagram DMs. She's super far away from me, so I'm disengaging. And then, like, she hits me up again at like 30 past midnight 2 nights ago and just says that she loves my content and she respects my grind. What? Hello? I did some digging, and she's got 2 accounts, one of which has more followers than I do. She seems very well connected, very well. You know how everyone seems online as like the perfect person. She seems like the perfect person. And I was going through old stories that she had put on, and like one of them said something about like finding a band through Reddit. And I was like, oh, right. That's just kind of what I am in her life. Like, she found me through her YouTube home recommendations. So she's kind of like seeing what's up. But she's pretty. But she's 10 hours away. Damn. Did you hear that? The only reason I don't have a bunch of fast food in front of me right now is because I'm out of money. My credit card got stolen and hacked. And guess who solved the situation for me and even realized it was a situation? My parents. Because they can see my checking account. It's not even... My checking account isn't even private. It's fucking public. Some guy in California spent $500 of my dollars. And they're probably not even all my dollars. Like 50% of them are my dad's dollars. That's why, to be honest with you, frankly, I only care like 50 fucking percent. I don't care 100%. But it's okay, though. I tell myself I'm a good person because I never ask my dad for money. I never ask. Ever, ever, ever ask. I just take because he gives it. So maybe I need to really reevaluate whether I'm a good person or not. I can't even put into words. Like, sometimes I don't even know how to describe it. My head starts spinning so hard and so fast. That's why it's great that I'm not drinking or smoking, because drinking or smoking really... But the fast food takes it away too, you know? Ugh. I am keeping it fucking real right now. And you gotta agree with that. I am keeping it real. This episode is a bit different because they're all a bit different. What do you guys think about the pauses? Do they bother you? I feel pretty calm right now. I feel pretty at ease. Pretty mellowed out. Tomorrow, Canada plays against the USA in the final of the whatever they call it. They swapped it out for the All-Star game. That's going to be dope. If I watch it. When this recording turns off, I'm going to watch Instagram Reels and scroll YouTube. I'll probably heat up a rotisserie chicken and wish that I could have McDonald's. But I do draw the line, right? Like, I'm not going to go ask Sam to borrow money. I won't even ask him if I can have his bag of Lay's potato chips. That's my line. I'm not going to do that. So, you know, there's like 10 minutes left in this recording, so let's read this again. One more time for all the ladies in the back. Blank blank, PhD, HSP-P, licensed psychologist. April 28th, 2021. Dear blank, I saw Jack Kadis, me, for neuropsychological testing in March of 2021. The following points are highlights from my testing. 1. Jack has a strong cognitive profile. With a full-scale IQ score of 128 on the WAIS-IV, processing speed was an area of personal weakness, with his score falling to solidly average. Skills in reading, writing, and math were largely commensurate, with some mild disfluency noted. Direct testing of executive functioning was average or above. Despite overall strong performances in all areas of testing, there were some intradomain inconsistencies which may be linked to underlying lapses in attention and slower processing speeds. 2. Parental report on interview and on CEFI and Connors was significant for clinical ratings of inattention, hyperactivity, executive dysfunction, and learning problems. Can you hear my farts in the mic? I'm sorry. Jack has always needed a high degree of activity to remain regulated. They reported that Jack has continually struggled with following... Dude, why are my farts like cartoon right now? Oh my god, gross. They reported that Jack has continually struggled with following multi-step directions and completing tasks. Conversely, when he is interested in something, he exhibits more of a laser focus and can attend for long periods of time. As a youngster, he would sit and do entire Lego sets without needing a break or becoming distracted. Mr. and Mrs. Kadis asserted that when Jack was in elementary school, they did not have overt concerns around inattention. Instead, emotional regulation seemed to be more of an issue. Jack exhibited difficulty managing his anger and was quick to incite. He was a successful student up until 10th grade. He was able to maintain solid grades with little effort. His performance declined in the 10th grade, leading him to opt to take 3 of his 5 classes as pass-fail grades. Part of his decline in grades was likely due to the fact that more weight was put on assignments than had been in the past, and his tendency to forget or miss assignments then impeded his grade. The IB program was not a good fit for him, and he moved to take a mixture of AP and honors classes. Mr. and Mrs. Kadis arranged for Jack to work with a tutor to help with AC preparation. This was challenging for Jack, as he was unmotivated to do the supplemental work that was required for the program. He had more trouble with test completion on the ACT than he has had historically with school-based tests. Jack's report on interview as well as on CEFI and Connors was not significant. He denied any difficulties and also denied anxiety and depression. When the idea of perfectionism was introduced, Jack began to identify with symptoms but quickly retreated. He wants to maintain the impression that he is in control and that he is without difficulty. He is highly resistant to any outside support, including psychotherapy and organizational tutoring. Jack reported that his grades could be better and that he just finds himself to be lazy at times. Jack reported that he is interested in going to college, but does not have any concrete plans for such. He maintained that he would be happy going to any university, even if it was a community college. At the time of testing, he was interested in tattooing and talked about obtaining a degree in business and finance so that he would be able to set up his own business. 4. Mr. and Mrs. Kadis reported that it has been the reason that I keep messing up on this word is because the L in long standing is perfectly along the crease of the paper. So it's like, it's rubbed off. Mr. and Mrs. Kadis reported that it has been a long-standing pattern where Jack becomes hyper-focused in one area and then lets other aspects of his life falter. He tends to give maximum effort when he is interested in something. A recent example of this involved making decisions to adopt a healthy lifestyle and exercise regularly so that he could be in the best shape possible for soccer. He was very focused on this plan and did give maximum effort to it. Once the soccer season started, however, he did not play in the first 2 games. He decided to quit the team. His reasons for this was that he simply was not ready and still needed to improve. This is a specific example, but this pattern has been prevalent throughout Jack's life. He sets his mind on a specific plan, and then when there is deviation from it, even a slight one, he retreats or abandons the idea altogether. He likely operates in a chronic fight or flight state and then utilizes the fight mechanism more often. At the time of this evaluation, Jack was highly focused on starting a job at a car wash. He was insistent on working 7 days a week for the maximum number of hours he could. It could not be something he did a few afternoons after school. My clinical impression surrounds generalized anxiety disorder, social anxiety, and some mild ADHD. Formal personality testing was not conducted as part of this evaluation, but I can add on if you think it would be beneficial to help with diagnostic clarification. Please let me know if you have any questions. Signed blank, blank blank, PhD, HSP-P, licensed psychologist. I'm going to let Sam read that and see what he thinks. Speaking of Sam, and speaking of me, and speaking of... You know what I'm thinking right now? I'm thinking the oldest son really gets fucked. Yeah. I'm thinking the oldest son really gets fucked hard. I'm thinking the oldest sibling gets really fucked in the ass, really fucking hard. And that the younger siblings are actually just like chilling. Like big chillin'. But the older sibling gets fucked up. If I have kids, a big pull for me to adopt would be because I could adopt 3 of them at the exact same time. Exact same age, exact same time. The whole 2-year separation thing, 5-year separation thing, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. You know how many milestones come in 2 years? I get my license 2 years before the other person. I graduate, 2 years before. Fuck that shit, man. People plan on having kids in the back of their mind for a decade. A decade they think of this. I think I'm going to have kids soon. For a decade they think that. And then it comes to fruition and it's like, holy shit. I'm going to do the best I can. And damn. My uncle says it really well. He says I couldn't believe that I had a kid and they just let me take that thing home. They didn't look at me or talk to me or anything. I just took that fucker home. And I think that's really a really interesting point. Furthermore, something else weird is when I go downtown, I don't have to spend a single dollar. I can just walk into these places and there's tons of these people and they're all drinking and I didn't have to pay anything for the experience. I didn't have to pay anything. And then there's super loud music. What? What? I don't even Or what's something else? Yeah, I don't know. You can just become a teacher. Okay, you have to pass a state background check. It's not that invasive. And you need a 4-year degree. Okay. So now you're just a teacher. And every year you filter through 200 children's lives. Or I guess every year 200 children filter through your life and vice. I mean, I guess it goes both ways, right? Everything's just a giant mesh of filters filtering through each other constantly. I think today was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. I love this. If you don't know, now you know. I think I'll leave you with the song. That's to make it right time to go. I went on the way. I'm gonna take the pain to hole. I'm gonna on the way. Cause everybody was kung fu fighting. How fast as lightning. It was a little bit frightening. Light is so aligning. Oh. I need a girl that's sober. I don't want a girl that drinks or smokes because that's a big lifestyle. Like that's a big lifestyle difference, of me and others. So my girlfriend should not drink or smoke weed. Well, no one smokes weed. My girlfriend shouldn't drink because I don't drink. Not like I would want her to stop drinking, but like I think it'd be a good thing if I met a girl that already doesn't drink. You know what I'm saying? Or it wouldn't matter to me, All right. See you tomorrow.